There are some journeys that are not measured in miles, but in memories, in centuries, and in the silent whispers of history that still float in the air. This is one of those journeys. A voyage not only across the Indian Ocean, but across time itself. Here, in this land where the wind still carries the scent of cloves, where the sea still sings of ancient trade, where every wave touches a forgotten past, we arrive, in Zanzibar, off the coast of East Africa, kissed by the warm winds of the Indian Ocean, lies an island unlike any other. A crossroads of cultures. A cradle of trade. A sanctuary of spices. Zanzibar, a place that once connected continents, bridged empires, and flavored the world. This is not just a destination, it is a story. And today, we sail into that story. For centuries, merchants risked everything to reach this place. Long before airplanes and container ports, long before modern trade routes, wooden boats ruled the sea, and the sea ruled them. They followed the monsoon winds, traveling from Arabia, Persia, India, and beyond, guided only by stars and instinct. They came for one thing: spices. The gold of the ancient world. Cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, treasures grown in the rich red soil of Zanzibar and traded like diamonds. This archipelago became a kingdom of fragrance, power, and mystery, but to understand Zanzibar, we must move beyond maps and textbooks. We must open our senses. We must feel what the sailors once felt. We must follow the same winds. So our journey begins not on land, but at sea, in the heart of the Indian Ocean. Out here, time slows. The sea stretches into eternity. The tradition of sailing dhows, wooden boats carved by hand, still survives. Generations of craftsmen and sailors have passed down the same knowledge, unchanged by time. No engines. No machines. Only canvas sails catching the breath of the world. It is here, on one of these timeless vessels, that the spirit of the spice routes still lives. As we sail, it becomes clear, this journey is not simply about geography. It is about connection. For thousands of years, these very waters linked people who had never met. Languages blended. Religions crossed borders. Cultures intertwined like threads. Zanzibar's history is not linear, it is layered. African, Arab, Indian, Persian, all woven into one identity, Swahili. A culture created by the ocean itself. From the dhow, we see it rising on the horizon, Stone Town. At first glance, a quiet coastal city. But look closer, and the past begins to speak. The carved wooden doors, the coral stone walls, the balconies draped in shadows, all of it carries stories. These narrow alleys once echoed with the footsteps of merchants negotiating trades in cloves and ivory. Perfumes once filled the air. Silk once spilled from crates. The world once passed through here, but Stone Town holds memories that are darker too, memories that must not be forgotten. Not all trade was fair. Not all riches were pure. Zanzibar was also a crucial hub in the East African slave trade, where human lives were bought and sold. Deep beneath the beauty of this island lies a past marked by suffering and survival. History is rarely one thing, it is both glory and pain, wonder and truth. And Zanzibar carries both in its soul, but the spice trade brought not only commerce, but connection. It transformed Zanzibar into a vibrant cultural rhythm, a melting pot of music, poetry, cuisine, and tradition. Here, Swahili hospitality is legendary, and the welcome is warm enough to belong to the ocean breeze itself. Yet, to truly understand Zanzibar's heart, we must leave the streets and step into its beating pulse, the spice farms. Away from the coast, where the land breathes deep and the daily rhythm slows, the legacy of the island comes to life in fields of green. These are not industrial plantations. They are family lands, tended for generations by hands that know the earth like an old friend. Walk through these farms, and every step becomes a lesson. Every leaf has a story. Touch the bark of a cinnamon tree and learn that the world once sailed oceans for this single flavor. Crush a clove between your fingers and breathe in the history of Zanzibar. warm, sharp, unforgettable. Nutmeg, turmeric, cardamom, each plant carries more than aroma. It carries memory. It carries legacy. But spices did more than flavor food. They shaped history. They built cities. They funded empires. Spices changed medicine, preserved food, and influenced global trade. To hold a clove is to hold a remnant of global civilization. The humble spice farm reminds us, power is not always in the sword. Sometimes, it grows silently from the soil. As the sun descends, the island prepares for another ritual, prayer and peace. The rhythm of island life shifts. The pace softens. Voices rise from mosques in a gentle harmony, blending with the sound of waves. The day slows, but the story deepens. Zanzibar is not just a place. It is a feeling. A fragrance. A rhythm. Next comes night, and with it, new treasures of culture. In the streets near Forodani Gardens, fires light up the night market. Skewers of fresh seafood, chapati, coconut rice, grilled octopus, spiced tea, and sugarcane juice. The tastes of Zanzibar are as bold as its history. Here, food is a celebration. A love letter passed down from ancestors. Influenced by Arabia, India, Africa, Zanzibar's cuisine is the spice route served on a plate, but what truly defines this island is not its history or spices alone, but its people. People who carry oceans in their eyes and kindness in their voices. People who still live with gratitude, simplicity, and deep roots. Their lives are a gentle reminder that connection matters more than speed, and culture matters more than convenience, and so we return once more to the sea. Because the sea is the teacher here. It teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches balance. The ancient sailors knew this. They respected the ocean as both giver and taker of life. And today, as the dhow glides across the water, guided only by wind, it feels like time has stopped. Looking out at the horizon, we begin to understand something important. The spice routes were not only about trade, they were about curiosity. About exploration. About the human instinct to discover the unknown. To cross borders not just for profit, but for connection. In a world divided by walls, the ocean reminds us that everything is connected. Zanzibar is not perfect, no place is. But it is real. Authentic. Proud. A place that holds tight to its traditions while welcoming the world. A place where history is not locked in museums, it is alive in the voices of fishermen, in the hands of farmers, in the rhythm of tarab music, and in the timeless winds of the monsoon. And maybe that is why traveling here feels different. It is not simply tourism. It is a journey of understanding. A return to origins. A reminder that the world once moved at the speed of the wind, and maybe, just maybe, we lost something important when we stopped listening to nature. What did the ancient spice routes teach us? That the world was always connected. That cultures are not meant to be closed, but shared. That beauty begins where curiosity lives. And that the past is never truly gone, it waits for us, in places like this, ready to be rediscovered. As our journey across the spice route comes to an end, one question remains: what do we take back with us? Cloves and cinnamon may be the treasures of the island, but Zanzibar's greatest gift is perspective. The perspective that life is meant to be experienced, not rushed. That stories are worth preserving. That journeys change us. And that somewhere between the sea and the sky, time still waits, for those willing to follow the wind, because in the end, this is not just a story about Zanzibar. This is a story about us. About who we were, who we are, and who we might become, if we choose to keep exploring. This is Zanzibar. This is the spice route. And this is a journey that never truly ends.